More than 60% of drivers in the United States are driving right now with the wrong tire pressure. And honestly, most of them think they're doing everything right. If you're following the number on your door sticker, there's a very good chance you're slowly destroying your tires, wasting money on gas, and increasing your stopping distance every time you drive. And the worst part? No one really explains this clearly. Not dealerships, not tire shops, not even your car manual. Today, you're going to learn the truth, and once you do, you'll never look at tire pressure the same way again. Let me tell you about a guy. We'll call him Mike. Mike bought a brand new set of premium tires, high quality, long life, rated for 90,000 miles. He did everything right, checked his tire pressure every month, kept it exactly at 32 psi, just like the sticker on his door said. Rotated them on schedule, took care of his car, but less than 2 years later, his front tires were already destroyed. The outer edges, completely worn down. The center? Still looked fine. He goes into a tire shop expecting maybe a small issue, and instead, he hears, "You need a new set." Just like that, $900 gone. So he asks the obvious question, "What did I do wrong?" The technician looks at him and asks one thing, "What pressure were you running?" Mike says, 32 psi, same as the door, and the technician just shakes his head. That's your problem. Here's the truth that almost nobody tells you. That number on your door sticker is not the best pressure for your tires, it's actually the minimum safe pressure for the maximum load your vehicle can carry. In other words, it's calculated for the worst-case scenario. Your car fully loaded, 5 passengers, luggage, high speed, hot weather. But, how often do you actually drive like that? Most of the time, it's just you, maybe one passenger, and, a few bags in the back. So when you run a low pressure like 32 psi in a lightly loaded car, your tires aren't working efficiently, they're actually deforming. Think of your tire like a structure that needs the right amount of air to hold its shape. When the pressure is too low, the sidewalls flex too much, the tire spreads out wider, and the center lifts slightly off the road. All the weight shifts to the outer edges. That's why Mike's tires wore out on the sides. He wasn't unlucky, he was underinflated the entire time. A tire is not just rubber, it's a carefully engineered system. Every layer inside it is designed to operate within a specific pressure range, and one of the most important concepts is something called the contact patch, the part of the tire that actually touches the road. At the correct pressure, that contact patch is flat and even. But when pressure drops too low, it becomes uneven, and now your tire is doing 3 bad things at once: wearing unevenly, losing grip, generating excess heat, and heat is the silent killer. Most blowouts don't happen randomly, they happen because a tire has been running underinflated for months, building heat, weakening internally, until it finally fails. Now, a lot of people hear this and think, okay, so higher pressure must be dangerous. Not exactly. There's a huge difference between overinflation and optimized pressure. Overinflation means going above the maximum rating on your tire. That's risky. But running slightly higher than your door sticker, that's often exactly where your tire performs best. So, where should you actually set your pressure? Not on the door, on the tire itself. Every tire has a maximum pressure printed right there on the sidewall. The ideal range for performance, efficiency, and tire life is usually about 10 to 15% below that maximum. For most passenger cars, that ends up somewhere between 36 and 42 psi. Remember Mike? After replacing his tires, he tried something different. He set them to 40 psi instead of 32, and honestly, the results were dramatic. Even wear across the entire tread, tire life nearly doubled, fuel economy improved noticeably. He went from replacing tires early to getting more than he paid for. Here's something most drivers don't realize. Your tire pressure directly affects your gas mileage. Every time your tires roll, they deform slightly. That deformation costs energy. Lower pressure equals more deformation, which means more fuel burned. Even being just a few psi too low can cost you 1 to 2% in fuel efficiency. That might not sound like much, but over a year, that's real money. Okay, so now, let's talk about that warning light on your dashboard, the TPMS. A lot of people think it's there to protect them early, but honestly, it doesn't quite work that way. The TPMS only turns on when your tire pressure drops about 25% below the recommended level. So, by the time you actually see that light, you've already been driving on dangerously low pressure. So, no, the TPMS is not a maintenance tool. It's really just an emergency alarm. And, this isn't just about saving money, it's really about safety. Underinflated tires can increase your braking distance, reduce your cornering grip, and they just perform worse in wet conditions. In real-world testing, the difference in stopping distance can be up to 30 feet. That could be the difference between a close call and an actual collision. So, here's what you should do starting today. Check the maximum PSI listed on your tire sidewall. Then, set your pressure roughly 10 to 15% below that number. Always measure when your tires are cold, and make sure to check at least once a month. Adjust for temperature changes too. And if you want to go one step further, try the chalk test. It's a simple way to see if your tire is making even contact with the road. If you've been following your door sticker this whole time, you're definitely not alone. Most drivers are, but now you know better. This one small change can save you hundreds of dollars a year, extend the life of your tires, and make your car a whole lot safer. If this opened your eyes, hit the like button and subscribe, because the next video is going to show you hidden warning signs your engine gives before it fails, and honestly, one of them might surprise you. And hey, I'm curious. What PSI are you running right now, and what car do you drive? Drop it in the comments.